Think what a great thing it is to be a part of something that is the team. The team, the team, the team.
Hi, so my face is smushed up here in the corner so we can get a tight shot of our figures and talk about the responsibilities of playing first base. So, like every position, a first baseman has to think ball, base, backup. When that ball is hit, she needs to make a quick determination. Does she have a very good chance to field the ball? If she does, she wants to go after it aggressively and call ball very loudly and clearly. Now, on balls that the first baseman will field, it is the second baseman's job to go and cover first. And this is where a lot of quick decision making and communication among the first baseman and the second baseman needs to come in. When the first baseman fields the ball, she needs to make a quick determination. Can I beat this runner to the base? If it's going to be close or doubtful, her teammate, the second baseman, should be here calling 1-1-1. In which case, the first baseman, of course, would throw to the second baseman covering first. If the first baseman fields the ball and believes she's going to beat this runner, she should do that herself and just hang on to the ball and continue to run and touch first base. But what's very important is we need to have communication. And a simple one-syllable communication is always the easiest and the fastest. I would recommend using me to let the second baseman know they can step away and the first baseman can come and get this force out herself. She could shout base is another one syllable, which is acceptable. Any communication that's going to let this second baseman know they should back off is acceptable, but I recommend me just because it's very simple, one syllable. We're going to use it for receiving relay throws, and it's different than calling ball or calling the number of the base. And I do think it's a good idea to differentiate. I already have the ball, and I'm just simply going to run to the base and touch it for the force out. But that's a really important aspect of communication. The first baseman and second baseman have to communicate because we do need, every time the first baseman calls for the ball, we need the second baseman going over to cover first. That is the second baseman's job. But we don't want collisions, we don't want confusion, we don't want hesitancy where they're both going to kind of stop short of each other while this runner is still sprinting full speed. We want everything to just be quick and decisive. So it should be ball, and then it would either be me and make the force out herself, or if she thought a throw were necessary, she would then throw to the second baseman, who would be calling 1-1-1. But there's always going to be movement. Whenever the first baseman's fielding a ball, this second baseman should be in an all-out sprint toward first base. And it's going to create a lot of situations where they're going to be close to each other. They must communicate. They must talk loudly and clearly to each other, not only for their safety, but so we can get the out as well. Obviously, a big responsibility of the first baseman is to cover the base. And when the ball is hit, when she knows that she's not going to go after the ball to try to field it, she just immediately needs to go to cover first base. And if she thinks that her play is the appropriate play or the easiest play, she would call 1-1-1. She's not going to do that every single time. If we have runners on first and second and the ball's hit to the third baseman or the shortstop, obviously that's not going to be the easiest play or the appropriate play. So the first baseman has to be aware of where the base runners are and when is the best time to throw to first base. That said, every time the ball is not hit to her, she wants to cover first base. Every single time. Finally, The last major responsibility of a first baseman is their backup responsibility. And the first baseman's backup responsibility comes on an extra base hit, anything that's more than a single. A telltale sign of an extra base hit is going to be when the ball is hit out of the infield and our outfielders have to turn and chase down the ball. The first baseman, after being aware of the ball being hit to the outfield, will have to take note of the batter. Are they rounding first base and heading for second without hesitating? Once it's pretty clear that that batter is heading for second, the first baseman must sprint into foul territory and back up the catcher in case there's a throw to the plate. So that is the first baseman's primary backup responsibility. It's only on an extra base hit, and the reason that she can do it is because there's nothing's going to be going on here anymore for the rest of that play. The batter has advanced past first, they're at least going to second. So, and we want the pitcher to remain near the circle, which we'll explain when we get to the look back rule. So on an extra base hit, batter hits the ball into the outfield, gets to first, rounds first, is clearly heading well toward second. The first baseman, once they see that that runner has really committed to second base, she's going to sprint into foul territory and get behind the catcher to back up any potential throw to the plate. And that pretty much covers it for first base responsibilities. Ball, field the ball if she can. Communicate very well with the second baseman, who should always be sprinting over to cover in case she's needed. Base, if she does not field the ball, she wants to go cover first base and call to her teammates if she is the easiest or only effective play to be made. And backup. If the batter hits the ball and wants more than a single and commits to charging towards second base, the first baseman will run and back up home plate in the event of a throw there that gets by the catcher. So, those of you who are playing first base, have a lot of fun this season. I'll see you next time.